Hey Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to a review of Italy round 5 and USA round 5 and now the game should start speeding up at least in one way. There's no more Russia, so we'll also go over Austria-Hungary and Germany into round 6 here. So a lot of ground to cover. So Italy buys 5 infantry. The combat move is basically a push up towards Venice, but also 2 infantry were redeployed to Albania. So combat goes the way of the Italians. They're able to clear the territory without any loss. Place units and carry on. Italians collect 16, right, because they have Albania. Okay, Americans, 3 infantry, 2 transports. They clear the Spanish territory at no loss. And we are now looking at the current turn here. Right, so the Americans are going to march into the Western Front's area. Okay, yeah. This is an artificially inflavored tub, or IPC, because this is basically plus 12 in favor of the CP. So there's still a fairly significant IPC gap. That's kind of where it's going to line up at this point in the game. The Allied powers have a total unit value 150 more than the CP. But they have a lot of that IPC wrapped up in surface warships and arguably transports. Just a sort of a tax the CP, the Entente have to pay to get their certain powers have to get their troops to the front. So if you take out the naval tub, there's certainly a land tub in favor of the CP for the moment. I'm saying all this stuff now because of what is about to happen. Austria-Hungary purchases a fighter, an artillery, and maximum infantry. And we have to attack. At least this is sort of the way I think about things. We're still in a two-front war, pretty much always in a two-front war. Despite the fall of Russia, there's still an economy over here, India. So we have to pay our respects to that, and I'm going to send 2 infantry in this direction. Romania moves Serbia, and that's to help contain this Albania ulcer. Ukraine moves Romania, and then we move this whole army back towards Ukraine, and the fighter goes to Galicia. So this is the way we are set up prior to the big battle in Venice. And this is, the battles in Russia were really fireworky, but I think it kind of all washed out in a fairly stereotypical manner. It's round 6, Russia's down. I guess you could argue that Russia might go down a turn or two later without all of that fighting, but I don't, I'm not sure if who that. Just no comment on that. So in this fight here, we have 38 pieces, 38 Entente pieces. So the Entente pretty easy to do since they're all defending at 3. It's going to be a 19-point defense, or 19-piece. They're going to inflict 19 hits, and the CP attack, the Austro-Hungarian attack, is an 18.5 attack. So they actually, the defense has us by half a piece. The reason this tips slightly in favor of the Austro-Hungarians is because we can shrug 3 hits from the Italians and French. And that would put their rated hits at 16 to our 18.5, and that's how you get 2.5 pieces in favor of the Central Powers. The Italians have lost 7 pieces in the fighting against the Ottomans. It's cost the Ottomans, obviously. We're kind of gummed up, about as bad as we would be in any other game. But the trade-off was, 7 pieces less over here. Actually, technically it's 9 if you're looking at just the Venice front, because the ability of Italy to bring in more troops here is curtailed slightly by this incursion into Albania. But there's benefits. Everything is cost benefit, cost benefit, cost benefit, and these are great. These are very competitive moves, and it just comes down to a matter of taste and style. But generally speaking, as the Central Powers player, I will engage in set piece battles that are near even or positive in Tub, and positive 2.5 pieces with, what is this, like a 75 pieces? Let's see, it's 63, 69, 70, 71. Yeah, it's like 80 plus piece count. Yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get. So things don't get better. The economy's still in favor of the Entente. We are going to deny the Italians 2 IPCs by doing this, and it will set up the Austro-Hungarians to flip this territory in the long run, pending at least an average dice roll. So I fully acknowledge, before I roll this, let me just say I fully acknowledge that the result could be catastrophic for one side or the other. This is a battle where something that goes as heavy as some of those fighting battles did on the East Front can kind of, I don't want to say like end the game, but it can certainly set a tonal change. And this is where I say it's a little bit. It seems that it's more sensitive to the CP. Like the CP, the Entente can have their nose bloodied. It seems like 1 or maybe 2 more battles than the CP can. So I'm not going to say that if let's say we roll, something terrible like -5, and they roll like positive 3 for an 8-point, a total of swing of 8 pieces, 4 under, 4 over. That's bad, but we could probably swallow that pill once or twice, or maybe twice throughout a game, and still have a competitive game. But if it's something even a point or 2 worse than that, that might be what I would call catastrophic. So, at this piece count. So, but that's part of playing the game. That's part of Axis and Allies. We already kind of did this once before with the shove into Ukraine, and then had it happen shockingly in Livonia. But yeah, hopefully it goes down the middle. I mean, that would be nice. But we're playing Axis and Allies, and swings can happen. So that's it. Enough chit chat. Let's get the throw on, and we're looking at 18 or 19. Okay, so this is a really bad start. So -4.5, -4.5 for the Austro-Hungarians, but it just really doesn't matter until we see the other side, the results of the other side. So I'm going to assume French. This is a bad thing to do usually, but just to get it on. And let's see what the roll is on the way back. 16. So he rolled -3. So kind of a -4.5 to -3. So we rolled -1.5. It still ends up a positive tub swing. So yeah, nothing to write home about really. It could have gone a little better for us, but it also didn't end up being like anything near a catastrophe. So we'll go ahead and place our new units. And yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and skip over the Russian. Here, let's just view the turn summary. Yep, -4.5 and -3, and we scored. So Austro-Hungary scored 1.5 under the... It's just fun. I love this game. Whenever we're playing over the board, I just came from a convention, somebody rolls terribly and starts whinging about like the dice. I always say, well, let's just see how well the Germans roll, or whatever side I'm rolling for. Let's just see how well the Germans do. And there can be a complete change in tone after the results of the other side come in. I actually like AAA better because it's instantaneous. You can just click, 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 and then you can figure out if you need to mourn or celebrate, right? But anyway, okay, let's continue. The only Russian piece here is in Kazakhstan. If I know my opponent, I doubt he'll have any issue with uh, me passing this. But of course, the veteran, feel free to change your casualties in Venice. Feel free to, freely roll a dice, manually roll a dice if you wanted to do any, or move this piece if you wanted to. But it's not going to have any effect on what I do with Germany. So we will push through. Okay, Germany is going to purchase an artillery, a fighter, and all infantry. Of course, we move here. We'll just try it like that for now. 4 transports is 8 pieces. So yeah, we'll just try it like that. So 6, 18. Sorry, I'm looking at the potential for counterattack, but I don't think, yeah, we need to, so yeah, these Germans will come up to Munich. These 2 will go into Alsace. I'll bring in a 3rd just to make sure I spike this territory. Huh. Yeah. So let's stack them up here. Actually, let me pause. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stick with that. Let's do this territorial spike. Push everyone else into the Ruhr, or the second capital of Germany, I like to call it. 6 IPCs is a pretty strong number there. Oh, and this fellow back here. Almost forgot. Okay. Yeah. Cycle through, because we actually do have to battle down there. I don't want to attack, but we have to. So there's as much. Actually, this is kind of interesting. The British have a better chance of getting. If we're asking each side to get a single hit, the British statistically have a better chance. 2 at 3 is, well, here, I'll just show you. Never mind. Yeah, I had something else in my head. So the attacking Germans have a 70% chance of getting at least 1 hit. Whereas the British, no, what am I? Yeah, whereas the British have a 75% chance. No, that's right. Okay. Yeah, the Brits have a 75, the Germans have a 70, so the British have a slightly higher chance of getting 1 more hit than the Germans. However, there's no way the British can get 3 hits. That's a topic for another video. I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Let's do this. 1 hit and no hits. Germans lucked out a bit. Okay, that's it. Drop everybody in. Done out and pass to my opponent. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.